Okay, welcome again for our final student for today, Muhammad Salam. Muhammad, you are DM student or DBA? DM, huh? Yeah.
DM.
Yeah. The examining board is consisting of Dr. Noha Nijim and Dr. Asim Al-Haj and myself, Professor Zahir. Our student today is Muhammad Salam. Muhammad is the first student of the summer 2024. So he's a good example of being energetic and finishing his work too early. I look forward to see how good his presentation is, and we'll take it from there. So as usual, Muhammad, you have 3 hours to present yourself and 15 minutes to present your work.
For sure.
Three
Thank
minutes
you,
for you.
Professor Zahir. Thank you.
Okay. And then it will be your main examiner is Dr. Asim, and Dr. Noha and myself will be we'll examine you later. But let us make use of time. Go ahead. Bismillah.
So, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Good afternoon, esteemed committee, professors and colleagues. Today I'm very honored to present the findings of my dissertation. The title is The Hospital Pharmacy Operations Management, Energizing Lean Efficiency and Six Sigma Precision for Optimal Service Quality. This is an action research from the United Arab Emirates. As Professor Zahir mentioned, I will need only a few minutes to talk about myself. Before starting talking about myself, I would like to express my profound gratitude to our mentor, Professor Zahir, the doctoral committee, my supervisor, Dr. Asim, for the instrumental guidance, as well, Dr. Noha, thank you very much for being with us today. To start with, I will talk about my education. I'm a DM candidate holding a master's degree in pharmaceutical sciences from the University of Jordan back in 1999. Sorry. After that, I already started master programs from Halt International Business School, Supply Chain Management Master Business School in Dubai as well, and a mini MBA from Curtin University. I am a member of Jordan Pharmacists Association and also the American Society of Quality, the American Society of Health System Pharmacists, and I have many certificates, including the Six Sigma Black Belt and other good clinical practice certificates. I started my career in academia back in, again, 1999 as a TA and clinical preceptor in Jordan. Then I moved to Dubai in 2003. And I'm spending now 20 plus years in Dubai, involved in many activities, started at Mediclinic Middle East and now also moved last year to a new hospital, our newest hospital, which is the site of today's dissertation, the site of study. I'm involved there in many committees, senior leadership, research committee, pharmacy and therapeutics committee, and I was privileged recently to be part also of the IAU and served as a teaching assistant and also contributed to the success of this program. So this is myself. Talking about today's topic, the study background, to give you a bit of background, my story involved a UAE hospital looking into improving the operational efficiency and service quality. As you know, the hospital pharmacy is considered as the last step in the whole patient journey. Again, similar to majority of departments of the hospital, we frequently face operational challenges, operational issues like the long waiting times, the queues, the issues related to medication, possibility of human errors, insurance-related rejections, cost, resources, and so on. So there are many aspects that really compromise the quality and safety of the operations at the hospital level. So this study was motivated by a driven, sorry, I'm not sure if there is a noise. Yeah, the study was motivated and driven by a vision to implement and validate superior methodologies to streamline the processes at the hospital pharmacy level. So our aim was to transform the challenges that we might encounter to a benchmarks of excellence. Historically, at the hospital pharmacy level, from my previous experience, we used to do a typical BDCA cycle for the projects that we used to improve the quality, which is the plan, do, check, and act. However, at this time, specifically at our newest hospital, the initiative, I thought, to change the approach, to incorporate a different methodology, and to take it from engineering. The Lean Six Sigma modality, or the module that we are going to talk about today, is basically shown promises from the literature review. If you don't mind, Prof. Zahir, is it possible to mute the mic? Is it possible to mute the mic?
Okay.
I think there is a
My side?
background noise. Sure.
Is it? Is it okay now?
I think there is some noise. Yeah, as per the literature, the Lean Six Sigma tools have shown promise in various industries, including the healthcare. However, ourselves at the healthcare facilities, we are still, we can call it the early stages or the infancy stages compared to manufacturing sector, engineering, aviation, and so on. So the engineers basically are the pioneers when it comes to Lean Six Sigma. And I remember during one of the brainstorming sessions during the early stages of the study, we asked ourselves, which is safer, to be in an aeroplane or in a hospital? And it was a very funny question, had a lot of debates about what will be the safest place. Is it aviation or a hospital? And then we tried to prove the facts through this study. Moving to the problem statement, every Lean Six Sigma project starts with a problem. Our investigation tried to identify a range of inefficiencies that contributed to issues related to problems, inefficiencies in hospital pharmacy. That included inefficient pharmacist interventions or acceptance by the physicians. Doctors usually have their own opinions, specifically in the Middle East region, so they don't accept always the pharmacist interventions, which is a problem that might lead to issues. A low rate of generic and biosimilar use, a high percentage of prescription leakage to competition. Waiting time is a huge problem, as we will see. Low client satisfaction and staff engagement also considered part of our major problem. This led us to formulate research questions and hypotheses to tackle the research problem. So the four main research questions that we have formulated to drive our exploration into the transformation of the hospital pharmacy operations roamed around. The first one looked into the heart of the operational effectiveness, seeking to, let's say, quantify the direct benefit of Lean Six Sigma. Because, as I mentioned, it's a new methodology, new innovative way, thinking out of the box. So we're trying to see how that really converts into an improvement opportunity. Second question, we try to explore the shifts in the quality perception. We try to see how the Six Sigma precision, as mentioned in the title, the accurateness of Six Sigma can be translated into enhanced service quality. Research question number 3 highlighted the human elements. In Lean Six Sigma projects, the teams are one of the major contributing factors for the success of the project. So you need to consider your teams, you have to study the individuals and the collective experiences around the teams. In question 4, the question extended the investigation into a broader implication of demographics, which is influencing the quality improvement. We tried to understand how the diverse backgrounds can be an add-on to the project for the process enhancement. The conceptual framework, we used the research dynamic framework, was the Lean Six Sigma, definitely, as a concept taken from the industrial engineering. And we did not use only Lean or Six Sigma separately. We tried to synergize the Lean and Six Sigma because of two factors. The first one, Lean is trying to remove the non-value added activities. However, the Sigma or the Six Sigma is something to do with mathematics. You are trying to support your decision making because for such a change, you need leadership, you need to convince the leadership, you have to convince your management, corporate. So the Six Sigma is the ideal tool that can reduce the variation in a quantitative method. This strategy supported us because Sigma is the measurement, so you have mathematics to indicate how the process is performing and reducing the defect. Then we incorporated also the ServQual. ServQual is a framework that can support us to again calculate and measure the service quality considering 5 constructs: tangibility, reliability, responsiveness, assurance, and empathy. And again, the demographics was around us because of the team activities that we are talking about. The study site, I mentioned that it's a Mediclinic Parkview Hospital, which is a tertiary care hospital available in a wide range of services, supported by a 24/7 pharmacy, accredited with also a Hick and Spock model, cluster clinics, and so on. So it was a very to measure with the major hospital in the group. My study objectives are again integrated or linked to our research problems. The selection of the objectives was closely linked to the KPIs or the critical to quality metrics that we have selected. It was a combination of operational, economical, and clinical critical to quality aspects. How we choose in our benchmarks, because I have put a targets on my KPIs. Definitely the literature was all the time around. The internal audit supported our benchmarks because we are privileged to be part of a bigger organization, a bigger group, so we have a lot of hospitals. Then also the stakeholder and the management inputs was available. Literature review, it was like a sort of a great opportunity for us to identify where we are standing at the moment and what we are aiming to achieve. It was carefully constructed and developed, executed according to the study objectives. So we build upon the knowledge base that we have seen in multiple databases and literature. We have searched PubMed, Scopus, Web of Science, the International American University database, books, previous dissertations, and many other, even Gray literature as well, to find where we are standing at the moment and what is the global distribution of our literature review. And those are the findings. We have a lot of studies. The majority of studies are talking about reduction of using Lean Six Sigma to reduce the waiting time. And the rest of the other KPIs follows. The action research model, basically the action research model has the essence of improving teams and stakeholder for a better spread of knowledge. Being the main researcher for this project, I have involved many stakeholders in the process. Many team members contributed to the success of this project. That's why the action research, we have aligned the DMAIC methodology of the Lean Six Sigma with the action research phases. So when we say define, you have to identify your problem. You say measure, you have to have a measure for your problems and KPIs and so on. So it was a very good fit for model for our research study. Improvement projects usually guided by certain domains. For us, it was four main pillars or domains that supported our project. The 4 pillars was the business goals. We are a private sector, a private organization. We need to have business goals. Second, the performance gaps, because we have certain gaps that hindering our efforts to improve the performance. Kaizen events, Kaizen, a Japanese word that means small incremental changes that can lead to improvements, leading us to a quick wins or quick gains, significant gains leading to reduction in cost, improving revenue, and so on. This is a roadmap to success. It's a big slide. I'll try to make it in a very quick way. The roadmap of success, definitely in this project, first we have to decide on the suitability or the viability of this project. Most probably the viability test, the baseline assessment of the current situation, the golden quadrant or matrix for the health economics. We try to find a lot of supporting tools to have a ground floor or finding the validity or viability for selecting this tool, because it's unusual to use it for a hospital pharmacy. Then we move to the define phase, measure phase, and finally improve and control. At the end of the survey, we have created also a very important model that can be used as a benchmark for the pharmacy, and we supported our finding with questionnaire to measure the service quality. We might discuss it in a bit
Muhammad,
better later.
Muhammad, you run out of time. Be careful.
Sure, that's why. This is one of the tools that we used for the measure and analyze the fishbone cause and effect. And then we use the Pareto principle, which is 80-20 method. That means your 20% of the causes are contributing to 80% of the problem. The findings from the baseline up to the final stage of the study, I took for the sake of the study time, I took the waiting time as an example. Okay. Then the costing is also one of the major important aspects for Lean Six Sigma projects. We have quantified our success with the improvement, reduction in cost, improvement in revenue, leading to an increase of the revenue and reduction of the cost with a quantified amount. This is the slide that can provide an answer for the research question 1. So we can consider the alternative hypothesis as true. And finally, the questionnaire targeted 168 responses from the healthcare professionals, and we tried to find the answers for our research questions through the questionnaire and the Lean Six Sigma demand. If you don't mind, Dr. Asim, is it possible because I have an echo in the sound?
Open yours يا محمد سلام. افتح الميكروفون عندك. أنا سكرت الجميع.
Okay, thank you. Sure. So research question 2 answered from the survey via the linear regression analysis, and we have identified that Lean Six Sigma DMAG impacts the service quality. So the R square, sorry, let me just maximize the slide. So the R square indicates that approximately 55% of the variability in the service quality construct was explained by the Six Sigma DMAG constructs with a significant level, as well as question 3 and 4 demographics found to be impacting the project service quality as well as the Lean Six Sigma construct. And this is acknowledging those facts, the variances guided us during the whole project for providing training, improving the acceptance and the resistance to change. All the barriers were tackled for this project. And those are the those are the scatter plots, right, summarizing the regression analysis conducted to ensure that we have a relationship between the constructs of the Lean Six Sigma DMAG and service quality. Finally, we came up with the objective of this dissertation was to combine and synergize Lean Six Sigma, as we have mentioned at the beginning. So development a smart hospital pharmacy model or framework that is competent to self-optimize and adapt the changing environment. We have a very dynamic environment in healthcare. To gain a competitive advantage over the other organizations or over the other hospitals, ensuring the improvement are sustainable. One of the major problems with Lean Six Sigma projects is the sustainability. You can't sustain because people don't tend to sustain the success efforts and things. So we have came up with this model, which is called BALSAM, Business Advancement Lean Sigma Action Model, which is tailored for pharmacy operations to improve the pharmacy critical to quality metrics and KPIs and so on, using the Lean and Six Sigma tools. My conclusions are, in a very quick way, sorry, please give me a second. Yeah, efficient resource utilization and patient satisfaction are critical, particularly in current contemporary healthcare, because we need to think out of the box. We need to have an innovative way to improve our processes. Waiting time is our enemy for success in the hospital pharmacy. People don't like to wait in any circumstances. Inefficiencies like suboptimal workflow, waste are all also part of the impact, negatively impacting the hospital pharmacy. Implementing Lean Six Sigma in this project, which was unusual, improved our critical to quality metrics in a very structured, evidence-based manner using quantified methodology with a and we have action research because we involved a lot of team members. The Lean Six Sigma DMAC impacts the service quality considering the demographics surrounding us, and that could enhance the quality initiative. Finally, the Lean Six Sigma is crucial for healthcare improvement in the UAE and Gulf and the globe as well, potentially enhancing the service quality. The future studies should target the economic impact of Lean Six Sigma because of the cost reduction importance. We're talking about cost reduction at this stage. So the time-driven activity-based costing is one of the targets for our next future research. Thank you very much for listening.
Okay, Dr. Asim, you are the main examiner. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Dr. Noha, are you around? Dr. Noha? She is, okay. Go ahead, Dr. Asim.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Muhammad, for an excellent presentation. Thank you very much, and for excellent research as well. With a lot of excitement, I've been following or working with you on your progress on this. Right. I want to ask a few questions. Do you think you were more biased towards Six Sigma than Lean in your work?
It was a mixed, Dr. Asim. Thank you very much for your kind question. It was a mixed. Basically, when we started our journey, I thought of Lean only because it's a huge area. Lean talks about reduction of non-value added activities. In the hospital pharmacy, there are a lot of people that moving around. There are a lot of, it's a wide, big area, a lot of processes, a lot of people who interact with the system. So we thought the Lean is more than enough. Then as we progressed in the project, we found that we need to quantify. The Lean is only subjective, but now if we need to look into an objective information to quantify our success, because it was very difficult to convince the management. The cost around the project was something that they have to pay for the trainings, they have to pay for maybe improving the shelving system of the pharmacy, to add more printers, to add more technology, to improve a lot of aspects of the system. So to convince them, you need to give them a sort of reassurance what will be the return of that investment. We are investing in a project, so we need to look into ways of improving the acceptance of the project. So Six Sigma came at the right time to be one of the convincing factors for the corporate, because we are a corporate structure. We have a lot of approval requirements if you need to proceed with any project. So it came to a conclusion that Six Sigma is really required and timely for this project, because we can convince them in a very systematic way using an evidence-based information. I think Dr. Asim, you are muted.
افتح الميكروفون يا دكتور عاصم.
How did your findings compare with other researches in other countries?
Yeah, the literature review was comprehensive. Basically, we tried to explore a lot of previous research, even tried to do a systematic review and to find a lot of studies talking about Lean Six Sigma, because it was not like a project that is normally happening at the hospital pharmacy level. So looking into the previous literature, we had a very widespread of the project in a, like a developed countries, and also the United States, Europe, some Asian countries, China, Brazil, even Spain had a lot of studies about the Lean Six Sigma. Saudi Arabia, they are also pioneers in this quality studies. So basically, it was in line with the previous studies. Most of the previous researchers found that the Lean Six Sigma, or combining or synergizing the Lean Six Sigma, already led to very fruitful results when it comes to turnaround time of majority of pharmacy processes, improving the flow, efficiency of work, identifying the bottlenecks, using lean and sigma tools, using the proactively finding what will be the failure modes, reduction of the non-value added activities, inventory management. So at each and every medication use process, the Lean Six Sigma found to support our study. So yeah, and then it's interestingly, I found also that Lean Six Sigma projects increase the knowledge because you involve people, you involve teams, you try to have a lot of interactions with the majority of your stakeholders in the process. So it was very fruitful experience.
How would Balsam work? And as you said, it's a model, it's a system, a recommendation to work with. How would that work to improve operations in at the corporate level?
Basically, as I mentioned, at hospital pharmacy, we have a lot of gaps, either inherited because of resistance to change. People used to do things as they used to do it long ago. And as we proceed with in technology, there are a lot of advancement in technology, specifically post the COVID era. We found a lot of things that are changing. So if we keep the same pace of practices, we will end up with not being non-competitive. You have a lot of competition in the healthcare sector. So for me to go to a right organization or healthcare provider, I have to make sure that they are already in the right track. So this modality or this model can support any pharmacy business process to identify the gap and then to move to link it to the service quality requirements. Because the corporate, your question, Professor, you have mentioned that the corporate, I need to also align it with the corporate. The corporate has put a set of vision statements, or sorry, vision statement, a set of goals that we have to accomplish. One of them is the pharmacy improvement. So targeting the business processes, it's a huge elephant. So we have to target uh, bite by bite every process in the business, in the pharmacy processes, to tackle the gaps of service quality, move to formulate our statement problem, to have to align it with the objectives of the organization, to convince the stakeholders, the leadership support, and then we move through the DMAIC methodology. DMAIC, with its 5 phases, define, measure, analyze, improve, and control, has got a massive number of tools that can improve the various. If it's that's why I divided my KPIs or critical to quality into operational, economics, clinical. It's a multiple side of the process.
Thank you very much, Muhammad. I'm through. Thank you, Professor Zahid.
Okay. One moment. Thank you, Dr. Asim. The floor is yours, Dr. Naha. Right.
Thank you, Professor. I just need to ask you, the research methodologies in health economics are really complicated, and they need like data. They need a really good cooperation and a like facilitation from the authorities. How do you assess your work using or dealing with the health sector?
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Naha, for the question. Basically, you are right, yes. Usually healthcare sector, it's a very complex system because it's a regulated profession. We have to comply with first of all, the regulations. We need to comply with, if we are an example, the UAE, we have to comply with Dubai Health Authority rules and regulation. They have published a guideline for the pharmacy sector, and we were part of contributed to the process of constructing the guidelines for the Dubai private healthcare sector. So it's tricky and critical to comply with the regulator. On the other side, we are also accredited by many international quality organizations, the Joint Commission, the ISO. So again, they are already putting a certain, we call them medication management and use standards. So we need to comply. So during each and every step of this project, those critical aspects, regulatory, quality, economics, because again, we are corporate, so we need to comply with the corporate budgeting system. We need to, yeah. And by the way, for the health economics, one of the tools that we have convinced the management to the viability of this project was the golden quadrant from health economics. We provided them with a matrix that this project is going to improve the outcomes of healthcare plus reducing the cost. So from that perspective, it was must-to-do project, and we were successful to start. That is the yearly in November 2022. From November to April 23, we were convincing them with viability of the DMAIC methodology, with the health economics importance of this project, and then moving forward to try to go out of the norm, out of the box, to get used of all the engineering tools. Industrial engineers are the pioneers in the Lean Six Sigma, so why not the healthcare? And maybe you missed that question. One of the brainstorming sessions we had mentioned which is safer, to be in an aeroplane or in a hospital, and everyone was surprised from the question. To be in an aeroplane is far safer, although you are in the hospital on the ground, but in an aeroplane they have far reach to a far, even more than Six Sigma. They are talking about 7 or 8 Sigma levels of improving their processes and timely activities. So it was very fruitful to combine both the economics and the regulatory tools and frameworks. Yeah.
Great. Thank you. I'm done from my side, Professor.
Okay, Muhammad.
Very short.
Thank you, Dr. Naha. Muhammad, why it is called Six Sigma, not Five Sigma?
Yeah, because we the standard deviation, we are trying to improve, because as long as you increase the sigma level, you are trying to improve or reduce the defect. The variation is one of the enemies in the process. If you reduce the variation, then you are much more closer to the right direction, or to the mean, which is our intention or our aim.
Okay, let us move to your final model, the final page, please.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
How would you connect this to the Six Sigma, your final model? One moment. Sorry, we lost the internet. Maybe again. Did you hear my question? How would you connect how you derived your final model, this model, the DMAIC model, from Six Sigma? Or what's the relation between them and Six Sigma?
Yeah, basically the Six Sigma module working with the DMAIC, that is the define, measure, analyze, and improve and control. So the Six Sigma was the area where we need to quantify and make things really looking evidence-based. Because we might say, okay, we need to use a quality tool or a project management tool. Without an evidence, you can't convince anyone to change their norm for the regular quality improvement processes into something out of the box. It showed that this methodology, the Six Sigma, is successful in various sectors. So we thought, why not in the healthcare?
Okay,
It was strange for
the
them. They
thing,
say, no.
the model what we have as the end or the conclusion of your work, to me, it's a general model. How would you connect it to your direct research? This is my concern. This model, define, measure, analyze. Okay, I need the connection between this generalized model and your actual data that you got from the actual case studies that you have.
Absolutely. The objective for the dissertation was to combine the Lean and Six Sigma in this model to target each and every critical to quality process or metric. In Six Sigma, they call it metrics. So the key performance indicators related to each and every critical to quality metric was targeted through this model. The self-optimization of the process by going through the gaps, the problem for each critical to quality. That's why the research
No,
problem was
my
very
question,
specific.
Muhammad, my question, without doing your research, this general, I would say, chart is applicable to all case studies, isn't it? How I'm
It,
looking for the actual connection between the data that would prove or would enhance the usage of this model, this output. I mean, you know what I mean. This is a very general one. It could be used for all or similar situations, in whether it is in United Arab Emirates or Jordan or whatever. So, what is the connection between this and your data in the research?
yeah, we start here, the pharmacy business process gap. So this was targeted, the 6 pharmacy process gaps was already specified or clarified using the modality starting from these gaps. So that we had, shall I move to the other slide of the gaps?
No, I want you to go to the place in your questionnaire that with the question that tackled this part, and the place in your analysis that answered this part. Again, I have a concern that this model has to be injected with some data that would relate it to your work. By having this alone, it's a good model, okay, but it's a generalized one. Okay, show me in the question, in your questionnaire, where did you look at this gap here, at this part of your model?
Sure. So in the questionnaire, we have already measured the impact of Lean Six Sigma improvements on the service quality using the ServaQual model, which is already mentioned on the combining the DMAC with ServaQual was the uniqueness of this model. So based on the results of the questionnaire, we have found that the Lean Six Sigma constructs had a direct improvement impact the ServaQual constructs
Where is the question?
because of
Show me the question. Show me the question.
the question. Yeah, sure. Yeah, so the question 2 was, is there a correlation between Lean Six Sigma DMAC methodology and the perceived change in the dimensions of service quality pertaining to the
No,
pharmacy
this is
services
not.
at Mediclinic
This is
Public
not
North?
what. No, this is not my concern. I want to see the question inside your questionnaire. Show me how did you get it? How did you put it in your questionnaire?
The question?
At the end, Muhammad, you have a population. You've done some I would say
Yep.
field work, didn't you?
Yep.
Yeah. and
Yes.
you ask the people about this side of the research. Show me the question that you've asked. You asked doctors, you asked pharmacists, you asked so many people around.
Yes.
Now I want you to see the
Yes.
question that would address this in a sequence. This is the question, this is the answer, this is the analysis, this is what supports my model. I want this sequence. Show it to me under this dimension.
Yeah, so the questionnaire, already we have it in the appendix. Now, each and every stage of the Six Sigma, as mentioned in the model, if we start with a defined stage, the question was to be...
If you go to your model, sorry, I keep jumping here and there. Go to the last page of your model. Yeah, no, the one before. We were talking about, one moment, you have the pharmacy business process gaps. This one, okay? You told me that you were able to identify these gaps, aren't you?
Yes.
Hello?
Those gaps... Yes, I can hear you, Professor. Yes. Hello?
Yeah, I'm with you, yes. You said that you were able, out of the questionnaire and the analysis, to identify these gaps. That's right?
No, actually, the research has two parts. The first part, which is targeting the 6 critical to quality metrics, was the process changes. Yeah, again, you can consider this is the first part of the research. 6 critical to quality, and you can consider any other critical to quality metrics targeting the pharmacy operations. So this was the first part of the research or the dissertation, up to reaching to the improvement phase. Then the innovation here that we have included the ServQual at the improvement phase and controlling phase to target the constructs of the service quality, the tangibility, the responsiveness, the empathy, and so on. So this is the uniqueness of this model.
Muhammad,
Usually
I'll make life easier for you. Pick any finding in this research and give me the research question for it inside the questionnaire and the way it was analyzed and the way it was concluded. Give me any part under define, measure, analyze, whatever. You have so many parameters here that you have identified.
Right.
You tell me how this is connected to your research. I have a problem in this. You have to convince me that this general one is connected to your work. It is not a general and that's it. So give me any part of this model, go back to your questionnaire and tell me that this questionnaire we've tested and this was a result of it.
Yes. So if we talk about the pharmacy prolonged waiting time, this is the problem. We have a prolonged pharmacy waiting time. So it's a critical to quality because no one would like to wait. So the KPI is how to reduce the waiting time. So we found it one of the critical to quality. So the analysis of the waiting time, if I might go to the waiting time, started with in the defined phase. We started in the defined phase, finding what is the problem, what is the contributing factors. We did project charter, we did the brainstorming to identify cause and effect analysis, failure mode effect to identify. This is the defined.
I've left this. You showed it to me. By the way, this chart here, it is from your literature review, isn't it?
This is from the results. This is from the results.
Okay, let us enlarge it because what I've seen in figure 31, I think, in your literature review with a source, so I was asking myself whether it is... Okay, can you explain this to me, please? You said that this is the results. Okay, you see my concern here, and it's not, to me, it's not clear till now. I find a gap with the gap that you're analyzing at the moment. But the gap in front of me that I don't see a connection between the very simplified questions of your questionnaire and the very sophisticated output of your model. It is the general one. So let us take this as a part. Tell me where about in your questionnaire that you were able to identify these issues so that you come up from the cause to the effect. I want you to connect this to the questionnaire, because as far as I know, the only tool in your hand is the questionnaire. After doing the research, the literature review, the only tool in your hand is the questionnaire. So tell me, how did you get this figure as a part of this, I would say, this exercise? How did you get it from your questionnaire?
No, if you allow me, thank you very much, Professor. If you allow me, the first part of the dissertation targeting critical to quality metrics. So it is nothing to do with the questionnaire. We used Lean Six Sigma to improve certain critical to quality problems that we are encountering at the hospital parts. What tools we are using? Those are the tools. We used cause and effect analysis, we used Pareto analysis, brainstorming, project charter,
I'm
Gemba
talking, let us
walks.
talk, yeah, Muhammad. We are in front of us. We have a graph here, and I ask you, you told me that this is a result of your analysis, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah, this is actually during the define phase, we have already met with the team and we started doing a brainstorming. What are the major contributing factors to a long pharmacy waiting time?
This
So
is
we
not
identified
mentioned.
the
This is
causing.
not. Look. This is not mentioned in your work. You did not tell us how you got those, how you got these figures, because when you specify the cause and the effect and the output in this figure, either it is quoted from somewhere else and then you prove it, or you have realized this by having meeting with the managers, with the directors, with the concerned people in the pharmaceutical issues. This is not clear. You see, again, my concern in your research is the connectivity between the figures, the strong figures that you have, and the actual data on the ground. I find that there is a gap. You reached some conclusions in your work in a way that is not supported on the ground from your research. So what I'm asking now is how to okay, if you go to figure 31 in your work, you have so many figures similar to this one. Again, I'm not sure how did you get it. Just tell me about this one. How did you get this one? How did you reach to this one?
Which page, Doctor? Sorry?
This one? No. I'll go. Once you finish. Explaining this, I'll go with you to page number 183 to see how this was derived. Let us start with this one. How did you reach? Or how did you combine the different elements under the effect, cause and effect issue? You have a cause and effect diagram to study the identified cause of the given 6 KPIs, okay, or CTQ. And now you tell me how did you reach this?
Yeah, if we talk about
this is my only concern with your work. How did you connect these figures to your questionnaire and to your field data? Sometimes I feel this is a literature review effort reorganized. So I need to be satisfied that this is something based on an actual case that you are studying in the United Arab Emirates.
Absolutely. So for the fishbone cause and effect diagram, it's a well-known tool that we use it for the Lean and Six Sigma methodology. So this tool, so now these tools have some domains. You talk about when you analyze your cause of your problem, you look for domains for this problem. So when we target the long pharmacy waiting time, we're looking for the domains around it. So we are surrounded by, first of all, manpower. We have employees, we have pharmacists. So we check our records. What are the balanced scorecards for those employees? how they
what is the
perform, their
KPI here?
performance.
What in this form, in this fishbone diagram? What is the KPI that you are
Waiting-
looking at? What is the KPI that you are testing?
Waiting, long pharmacy waiting time.
Yeah. Okay. Now we talk business. You are talking about this as a KPI, key performance indicator that you are using. And sorry for taking that long time, but I need to understand and I need to make sure that it is connected. Now when you go to the frequently breakdown of E-REX, this is the machine. Okay, the method. Complex and slow prescribing filing process. Okay? You have identified this, didn't you?
Filling,
In the middle,
Yeah,
top
filling of the
middle, under
prescription.
the process, under the
yes.
process. Yeah, this one, okay.
Yes.
Now my question, I'll make it simple. Where did you get this from?
This is from the observation of the process. Because the pharmacy records showing that the staff
Yeah, that's good,
are
that's
having
good. From the observation of the records, you did not
Pharmacy
tell us
record, yeah.
that this was taken from observation of the records. We are under the impression that every single output in your research was taken from your questionnaire, because this is the way you casted your research. So my concern is every single information that you put in your research, it is not a consultative research. It is a scientific one. It has to be referred to. So before putting this fishbone, you have about 5 fishbones, 6 fishbones. It's a very nice, well done fishbones, and it will give you an understanding of the whole environment of your research, of the whole boundaries, of the whole limitations, the whole area of your research. But my concern, and still my concern, it is not connected to the actual data, or at least it is not shown to us. Maybe connected in your work, in your life, in your mind, but it is not in research. We do not put any term, any variable without saying where it is from. So you have 3 sources. Either you tell us that this has been taken from the official reports of the hospital, or the official reports of the government, whatever official reports, or from your questionnaire, or from what you've mentioned, and this is the first time to be mentioned, from the committees or the discussions that you have with senior colleagues. Is that clear, Muhammad?
Absolutely. Thank you very much for the comment, Professor. Actually, in the dissertation itself, I have mentioned the source is MBAR Hospital Pharmacy Records below the fishbone figures on the dissertation itself. But maybe I forgot to put it in the presentation.
Yeah, well,
Sorry
one
for
moment.
that.
This will put you in another corner. So you are having this as part of your analysis, and then you tell me that I have this from another place. This is the analysis. Under the analysis, you put this. Now you have it from the records. Have you got all these ready from the records? The records is a dead data that has to be revived into being a logical fishbone diagram. Now when you say it's there, it means that you've taken it and that's it. You can, again, you need to reorganize the data from the records so that it makes sense because if this was done, just tell us it is done there, and under the hospital KPIs, they have six fish bones, and I have adopted them. Then I put some slight modifications to them, and this will make life easy for everybody. If this is the circumstances.
Sure.
Again, at the final, and this is my final remark, when you go to the final model, go to the final one, please. Please, when have a specific description to this, to tell us how on earth this is connected to the UAE environment or pharmaceutical environment or this research limitations or research area or case study of your work. You have to tell us how it, because now I'll ask you in a different way. If I take this and give it to Dr. Asim, Dr. Asim, can you apply this to any hospital in the UK or on Lebanon? Yeah, why not? It's nice. It's nice. The same one, without alternating anything, without changing anything. So I want this to be your own, and then at the end, Salam's model. Okay? maybe you put some figures, you put some references, you put some referral to any findings of your research, and then you show it. It's I don't know, you pronounce it directly or word by word, DMAIC or DMAIC, model for UEE pharmacies or whatever. So it is something specific. So when I go through it, it is different from this one. It is a little bit altered based on your findings. I'm done, Dr. Asim. So if you have anything to add, please go ahead.
No. Thank you very much, Muhammad. Thank you very much, everybody. Well done. Good job.
Thank you so much for the constructive feedback. It's a pleasure.
Same here.
Okay.
Same here, Professor.
Okay,
I'm fine.
thank you very much. Okay, we will leave you now for 10 minutes and then we'll convene again. Salam alaikum. Salam.
Salam. Thank you very much.